A president clearly under pressure after 2 weeks of intense criticism over his handling of a chaotic Afghanistan exit, framing it as a choice with limited options due to a deal made between the man he succeeded and the Taliban.
I was not going to extend this forever war, and I was not extending a forever exit. The decision to end the military airlift operations at Kabul airport was based on the unanimous recommendation of my civilian and military advisors, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and all the service chiefs, and the commanders in the field.
But it's a strategy that quickly unraveled on the ground, given the Taliban's swift ascendancy and the spectacular collapse of both the Afghan government and the US-trained Afghan military.
I take responsibility for the decision. Now some say we should have started mass evacuation sooner. And couldn't this have been done in a more orderly manner? I respectfully disagree. Imagine if we'd begun evacuations in June or July, bringing in thousands of American troops and evacuating more than 120,000 people in the middle of a civil war. There still would have been a rush to the airport, a breakdown in confidence and control of the government, and it still would have been a very difficult and dangerous mission. The bottom line is, there is no evacuation from the end of a war that you can run without the kinds of complexities, challenges, and threats we faced. None.
Thousands of Afghan allies and a few hundred Americans remain in the country, with diplomatic efforts continuing to provide them safe passage out of Afghanistan, as Biden provided further insight into his broader strategy.
This decision about Afghanistan is not just about Afghanistan. It's about ending an era of major military operations to remake other countries. We saw a mission of counterterrorism in Afghanistan, getting the terrorists and stopping attacks, morph into a counterinsurgency, nation building, trying to create a democratic, cohesive, and united Afghanistan, something that has never been done over many centuries of Afghan's history. Moving on from that mindset and those kind of large-scale troop deployments will make us stronger and more effective and safer at home.
He also quoted university studies that pointed to the war costing the American taxpayer some $300 million per day. Biden emphasized the financial burden as something he wanted the American people to hear as he made his case to turn the page on a foreign policy that has guided the country for the last 2 decades, saying the United States would continue to support Afghanistan through diplomacy and humanitarian aid, but that the terrorism threat to the US had metastasized across the world and well beyond Afghanistan's borders. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.